Well, I guess as good a part of a place to start today's vlog is where we left off yesterday. Was going to go to the outside suite. I haven't done my weeding yet though, Steve, so I'm leaving that for a moment. But I've got the AC on its lowest setting blowing at me just here. In here, as long as I've had this at full tilt all day long, I've just about been manageable. It's showing 29.1 here at the moment. I've got some air coming through. AC light. It might blow in a little bit in a moment if the compressor kicks in. Do forgive me, but I'm just trying to stay cool. But I just wanted to get this done without going downstairs and so on, and filling you or bringing you up to date where we're at. So, as you know, yesterday actually a couple of points I didn't tell you. When they wrote that initial email, we're talking about the mystery client, of course. There were other suggestions about ways of promoting it, and I pointed out to her it's already on my website. And okay, my website's not huge, but it gets around about 2,000 clicks a day, unique clicks a day. And I also put it on the community post because she said, "Oh, could you do a post?" I said, "Already done that. Already done all of that without you even suggesting, without paying for it. I've just done it. It was part of the service of what I do." So that gave me the heads up there. And then we had the emails back and forth, as you know. And then I was in London yesterday and got out PayPal, so there will be some road noise as well. So all the windows. Oh, that's the compressor kicking in. I'll try turning it off a moment, see how. No, it's not too bad, is it? I don't think. And I got out PayPal, sent her the invoice she needed to the exact amount, and then I looked this morning and still no payment. And then we've now gone to bold caps on the email, which is always an interesting point of any email exchange. Thank you for checking in. I want to assure you that I've already submitted the payment application for £500 for the upfront fee. Please note it does take caps, bold, some time for our finance team to process, approve and clear corporate payments through our internal pipeline. I'm keeping a close eye on it. So basically, I haven't yet been paid. I'm not sure what to make of it. I think in my heart, I think they're going to come through with it. But equally, it started to pick up on a few views now. It's not doing brilliantly, but we're at. Let me do a live look. Sorry, let me turn around. It's gained 2 subscribers and 781 views. Now, she was wanting something near. Well, that's getting near 1,000 in a week, and I knew it was going to struggle for numbers. I absolutely knew it was, and I think I'm going to actually get together some sort of a contract now. We didn't have a contract, but we had a string of emails, and at no point, as I said to you yesterday, did we ever mention view-related payment. It wasn't part of that conversation. Had it with Wondershare, didn't have it with this other client, and that was what left a really bad taste in my mouth. And thank you for your support yesterday. Part of what this vlog was always meant to be about, apart from me sitting down and chatting, was also, hopefully, if this kind of stuff interests you, and as you know, it's whatever's gone on in my day. And if you watch a lot of YouTube, whether it's tech YouTube or not, there's a good chance that the creators that you're watching have got similar stories to me. The bigger the channel, the bigger the risks. Yes, they'll have procedures in place. Yes, they'll have teams in place to deal with all this, and there will be contracts in place, of course. But you probably watch quite a lot of sort of 50 to 100,000, he says, round himself up to 50, kind of size channels. I know I do. There's a couple of photography channels I watch at that sort of size, and I really, really love them. And I think it just would be interesting for you to know the kind of battles that go on behind the scenes, the sort of things that we get dealt with. And it was quite clear to me from the get-go, the way that they were so effusive about that video, with not a single alteration, to suddenly come up with this long email. It was just a way to get out of paying. Nothing will change my mind on the fact that it was just a way to get out of paying. So I brought the equipment back into the studio today. I did have it at home in case the money landed, and then I've got to sit down and do some shorts. I'm pretty certain I can make that as pain-free for myself as possible. I reckon I can riff for a couple of minutes. But it's annoying because I like to try and put up a weekly short, as you know, and doing those is going to take time away from me doing that. And also today I've been fully into Ugreen. I listened to that voice note that I recorded at the expo a couple of weeks ago. That was really handy. I've got sort of some really good information out of that. So I went through and listened to that longhand making notes, and I've looked at the brief they've sent me as well. So tomorrow I'm actually in a good spot to sit down and properly write out some kind of a script. They want to see the script before I call, which is fine. and I'm very much going to begin to tailor that around, because as you know, I've been a big fan. I've really got into using a NAS really this year, and I think with the two NASs now, where they can talk to one another, I'm going to get into it even more. So I'm a huge fan of it, and I think that the route I'm going to go with it is showing my media player. Now, I haven't actually. This is something I've been so I've kind of finished on the bad debt story for now. I'll let you know if I get paid, when I get paid. If I get paid tomorrow, who knows? And Wondershare sent me an email. The first email said this morning was, "Oh, the video's not doing particularly well." So I said, "Yeah, no problems." I changed the thumbnail to something they wanted it to be more in keeping with the kind of thumbnails I have on my channel. I said, "Yeah, not a problem at all." So the white balance is okay, isn't it? I think, yeah. So I did that, and also I paid for promotion. And bugger me, Google have disapproved it again for dishonest behaviour. I honestly thought iCloud data backup would be okay. I did not foresee an issue with that, which now I've sent them screenshots. I sent the screenshots as I was doing it this morning, and then I forwarded the email. There's nothing more I can do. It did have a short spell of time where before Google stopped it, it got about 400 odd views or something. So it's kind of pushed it along the road a little bit. It's not going to do well, but my hands are tied. And I don't think, I mean, I just don't want any bot farms getting involved or anything like that. But yeah, it continued to be a tough start to the day. It's really been a challenging time, as you know, both what I'm doing here in front of the camera. I think the mortgage thing now is more or less sorted. There's a few hurdles still to jump, but I think it's more or less there. So at least the mystery of what it's going to be has gone out. It's not good news, but at least the mystery has gone out of what it's going to go up to. But getting back to the NAS, part of what they've got on there, one of the apps on there, is theatre. So you can put movies on there and stream movies anywhere, home, wherever you're watching. Apart from hooky torrent sites, am I being naive? How would you get movies onto your NAS? Would it just be a case of taking Blu-rays that you've got, and then rather than having to have a Blu-ray player out or a DVD player out, would you just rip it into the NAS? And what would I need? What bit of hardware would I need? Would I need, in that one instance, a DVD player hooked up to the NAS and rip it? I've never done it before. The idea of having movies on a NAS appeals. The only thing is, you know, it's quite like the other night sitting down and watching something on Apple TV, and as you know, I've built up quite a nice little collection. I tend to buy now rather than rent. And I watched Moneyball the other night with Brad Pitt. Really good movie. But you know, that's the thing. If there's actual sites where I could pay a monthly subscription to, possibly, and download to a NAS, I would do it. But I've had a look around and I can't find any. And clearly you can't download and save your Netflix or your Apple TV movies anywhere. So I just wonder if I've heard of Plex servers and things like that. So I'm assuming it just means if you buy DVDs, rather than having to physically have DVDs on hand, it's convenient. You can just go to your theatre and play them. Because of course I will soon be having a NAS at home. I'm hoping that doesn't cause me any problems. Unplugging it from here and taking it back home. I'm hoping I've got a year's worth of photos, because I've been using it now for a year solid. And okay, you could argue that the photos from a year ago I'm not going to use again, and that's probably true. What I should do, and what the guy at the expo suggested, was some of the more recent stuff, just putting that onto an external drive, so I've got it safe. And also, he was suggesting backing up some of the smaller documents to the cloud, because I was saying it's all well and good saying back up to the cloud, but it's going to take forever. And he said, yeah, if a drive fails, it could easily take 18 hours to a day to reinstall. So I'm really into the NAS way of life, though. I can see myself using it more and more and more, and possibly even more than Dropbox. The more I get my music onto there, and it's been a labour of love, but I'm loving doing it. I sort of rash myself to 3 to 4 albums a day. I shoot the album artwork, come in, catalogue it, get all the metadata correct, and now I've got this lovely bank of albums that I can listen. I haven't listened to Apple Music apart from in the car for a very long time, so I'm really loving NAS, and that's the way I'm going to take it with the NAS video. I'm going to show how I'm using it, because I think that makes it personal, right? Rather than just the first one I did was how to set up, how to install. They don't really want that. I'm going to show a year on how I've come on, how I've got into NAS life, and the two big ways to use it are for music, for media streaming in that respect, and also here in the studio and soon at home when I can go into Lightroom and look at local folders. And the benefit of that is I've told you before, I don't have to download and then upload locally into Lightroom. I can edit, and that's what I did this morning. The photo I did this morning of Westminster Bridge, I spent ages doing edits on various ones. Then the one that I decided, that was the only one I then sent from the NAS to the cloud. That's the only one that's in Lightroom, and that's the one that I published onto Lightroom, onto Threads, and it's just gone on to Insta as I talk. So before, when they sent me NAS, I'd never used a NAS, but now I've got it. It's like I was saying, just being a geek and being a tech fan, I love the idea of it, and I love the fact that it's my little private cloud. No one else has got access to it. And now 9 times out of 10, when I'm transferring files to people, I'll use that. And the PDFs that I've created for iPads and stuff earlier in the year, they're all on the NAS. I'm using the NAS more and more and more. And I've looked at the storage. I've got tons of storage left, tons. And okay, I haven't really scratched the surface with my music collection yet. It's so big. But you know, if I keep on chipping away at it, it will get there. And it's just lovely being able to go to an album, look at it, and think, yeah, I'm going to play that album now. Really enjoying NAS Live. So that's going to be tomorrow for me. Well, I had the car MOT today. In fact, it was quite interesting. You know, I've got this idea about maybe chipping this car and getting out and paying PCP payments and buying a contemporary classic. I'm thinking something, as we talked about, sort of saying 2010-ish. SLKs I like the thought of. Something maybe Toyota-ish I like the thought of. Audi TTs I like the thought of. And they shouldn't be too much. And if I took out a small loan, I'd be paying the same amount of money I'm paying a month at the moment, but owning it. Okay, there's a risk an older car could go wrong, I get that. But equally, I'm paying for something I like. I'm paying for something I want. At the moment, it's dead money. I resent the money going out every month. I really hate the money going out every month. So, but this garage where I took it to, they get involved with some contemporary classics. So I might have a word with them near the time as well, see if they can source me something. And at least it's through a garage and they service it there and they're right on the doorstep here. So if servicing's needed, they could take care of it if they find it. So it just kind of appeals to me. But that sort of car, I really like the thought of. I'd like something maybe convertible again. I've had MG Midgets in my time. I've had a TR6 in my time. Are they the only ones that were convertibles? I think they were. And the TR6 was one of the two big loves of my life. The other one being, of course, the Lotus Esprit. They've gone up so much in value. If I'd kept that Lotus, I would have been on a happy little pension. But sadly, I got rid of it for a Lexus, believe it or not. Bad move. So anyway, MOT done yesterday. Car serviced tomorrow morning. They've been in touch. I thought the dealership I deal with is rubbish. I thought they were going to forget picking it up, but they WhatsApped me and said, "Are we okay to pick it up in the morning?" So they're coming around at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock to pick the car up. So I'm going to take stuff home today. Certainly, I'll be working from home in the morning, and then I might come in here in the afternoon. I probably will. I haven't thought what I need to make a short on this week for the channel, because normally I link it to the main video, but I've gone slightly out of step because last week I made an iPod short video, and then it's only tomorrow that the iPod video is going up. So I'm kind of out of step, and I think next week's is going to be the NAS video, I think. And it looks like we've got some cooler days coming up. So being in here, just looking what temperatures we've got coming up. Friday 24, Saturday 25, Sunday 21, Monday 19. So there's going to be a couple of cooler days, because obviously setting up a NAS is going to be quite hard work. But if the worst of it's gone, at least, it's going to make things a bit easier for me. And I think the footage was okay yesterday, wasn't it? Stabilisation-wise, it didn't look too bad. So that was with all the stabilisation turned on the camera, and just taking care, really. And it showed that I didn't need to take the gimbal. I travelled about as light as possible yesterday, and it worked. Having the MacBook was brilliant. It meant I could post onto Instagram, onto Lightroom, I could edit properly, back up during the day, raise a PayPal invoice. But I didn't take tripods, I didn't take gimbals, and it worked out well. And it was so much easier. The thing I said yesterday, not hybrid shooting, just doing the video, the photo shoot is brilliant. And if you're interested, I shot something close to 250 images yesterday. So it was a busy day, but from what I've seen so far, I'm pretty happy with the results. Now, at least I'm sharp now. And the reason I got sharper was I've increased the f-stop. So I'm not using I'm not trying to go any soft focus, because the kind of work I do, there's no need for it. And of course, when you're using a shallow depth of field, you stand more chance of being out of focus. I'm using regularly sort of an f7ish now, and just trying to get the focus out. And the sky and the sun was beautiful. I put up a picture today of Westminster Bridge with the tower in the background and the bus right by the side of it, and it was the sun. It was just this glow in the sky. It just looked beautiful, offset against a beautiful blue sky without a cloud in the sky. It just looked stunning. It took a bit of time to decide which image I was going to use, but it just, as I said yesterday, with where I was in my head, it was just the right thing to go into town yesterday. It was a battle, it really was. It was a day I could have just drawn the shutters and done nothing, but I'm really glad I made the effort and went in, because it just, yeah, lifted my spirits. And seeing what I've shot today from yesterday, it means I think I'm sort of beginning to learn my trade. I've just suddenly seen we're at 15 minutes. I can only apologise for that. I'll wrap it up now. I'm not sure where I'll record it from. I'll take the camera home in case I end up recording it from home tomorrow. But you will hear from me tomorrow, of course. I hope your Thursday's been good. Thanks for all your lovely words and support as well. It goes without saying. And I will chat with you